And when we go back into contacts and we click on all contacts, if you remember, we said there are three methods which we can use to bring contacts into Zoho campaigns. We can add new by adding multiple contacts, and we can also import contacts into Zoho campaigns. And the last one is to sync the contacts. And I have a dummy list here where I have 30 contacts in here, and we have the different fields. We have the birthdays, we have the work email, and we have the number of employee, and all of this dummy data. So now we want to see how we can import this list into our Zoho campaigns account. So when we go into file and you click on download, you want to make sure that you are downloading this file in the CSV format so that you can be able to import it into Zoho campaigns. And also another thing to note is that before you import your contact, you want to make sure that all of the data or you have in all of the field that you have in your list is currently in your Zoho Campaigns account. So that means if you're having a field called numbers of employees, or if you're having a field called industry or preferred newsletter frequency, you want to make sure that all of those fields have been created in Zoho Campaigns. So I do not have those fields in my Zoho Campaigns, and that is going to lead us into creating custom fields in Zoho Campaigns. So we are going to go back to Zoho Campaigns, and we're going to go into our settings. And when you get to your settings, you go into customization, and you are going to see custom fields under customization. When you click on custom fields, it is going to take you to this page, and you can then create custom fields. You can also map to your account custom fields in your Zoho CRM account, and when you click on this, it is going to map all of those fields. But since we are creating custom fields, we are just going to click on create custom fields, and when you click on create custom field, it is going to ask you for the type of field you want to create. So we have various types of fields you can create in here. We have the text field, and for the text field, it is the simplest form of field, and it is for short pieces of information. And you can create fields which are like first name, or you can create fields like last name, or you can even create something like job title, and they can be able to type in their job title in there. Then we have for integer, and for integer is also known as the number field. We can also be able to add in maybe the number of employees. So it is a number field where you can be able to ask them number questions. And we have the email where they can be able to put in their email, maybe the work email, or maybe the manager's email, or maybe the CEO's email. You can also add that in. And we have the phone, and for the phone, you can be able to create custom fields where you can ask for the phone number, maybe the home phone number, or maybe their mobile phone number, or their work phone number, whichever one works for you. And we have the dates, and for the dates, you can be able to ask for their birthday date, or you can even be able to ask the dates that they will be available. And we have the date and time, and for the dates and time, we can be able to ask them for a meeting date and time. We can ask them to meet up with us, and we can ask them what date and what time will they be available, so they can put in the date and the time at the same time. And for pick list, people can be able to select a particular choice for a particular field. So you can ask them the type of CRM that they are using. You can also ask them for any other thing where you can allow them to be able to pick a choice. And for the multi-select pick list, this allow people to pick more than one choice. So instead of pick list, which allows one choice, multi-select pick list as you can be able to pick more than one. So you can also ask them the type of services they want from us, if it's automation they want from us, or if it's to set up their Zoho CRM account, or whatever it is they want to do. They can be able to pick more than one services. So for percent, you can also ask them for the percentage of anything. So percentage, you can also allow them to be able to enter a percentage value. So you can ask for any percentage. Maybe you want to ask for the percentage of their commission or anything like that. You can also ask for decimal, and this is going to allow them to be able to put decimal values into um, into the form. And you can also be able to ask them for the radio button. And for the radio button, it is going to allow them to be able to also choose a choice, but the choice is going to be listed and it's going to be predefined already, and they can be able to pick whatever options work for them. And you can also use for checkbox, and for checkbox they are going to be able to select an option. And we have for long integer, we can also allow them to be able to add numerical values. For long integers, we can also be able to add in numbers, and for URL, we can be able to enter a web address. And for text area is different from the first one, which is text, and text area allow them to be able to add in long words, paragraph text. So we can use it as a description field where we can ask them particular questions and they can be able to write the answer to that question in detail. So we also have the multi-select checkbox, and for multi-select checkbox, it is going to display different options for a particular question, and people can be able to pick multiple answers for that question. And we have for anniversary, so anniversary can also be used for birthday dates, or we can even ask them for their company anniversary, and the date format is going to be the day, the month. So we can ask them for all of those. And now let's go back to our let's go back to our sheet and let's see what field we have. So we have the first name and the last name and the email. Those are already in Zoho Campaign already. And we have mobile number, which is already in Zoho Campaign. And we have for birthday. So let's create a birthday field. And when we come over here and we select our birthday and we go over to Zoho Campaigns and we click on anniversary and we add in the date display label as birthday. So this is going to be our birthday field. So you can also decide to add in the date format. It can be month and day, or it can be day and month. So let's choose day and month. And we can also decide to separate by all of this character, and we can decide to separate by this dash in here. And that means they are showing us how the value is going to look like. So it will be the 31st of January. So that will be 31-01. And we can also decide to add in a default value, and we can decide to encrypt this field also. So when you are done, you click on add, and when you click on add, your custom field will be added. And now we have birthday, which is an anniversary field, and that has been added. The next field we have in our dummy list is the number of employees. So when we copy the number of employee here, as you can see, it is a number field. We have to go back into Zoho Campaigns and we'll have to add a new contacts field, and we are going to name this we are going to put this under the integer value. So the integer is the second one, and we had this in here, and we add in the field label, which is the number of employees, and we can also decide to add the field length if we want, and we can also add the default value, and we can also click on add when we are done with all of this. And yeah, the length field cannot be left blank, so I'm just going to add then. So let's just click on add, and when you click on add, oh, it's saying my field cannot be greater than 9, so I'll just put in 9, and that is the field length for this particular field. So when you're done, you click on add, and when you click on add, your custom field for number of employees has been added. Then the next one on our dummy list, we have the preferred newsletter frequency. And for the preferred newsletter frequency, they can only pick one option, remember. And we have the bi-weekly, we have the monthly, we have the weekly, and we also have the monthly. So I'm going to pick this name here, and I'm going to go back into Zoho Campaigns, and I'm going to add in a new contact field. And since I want to list all of this in an option, I am going to use my radio button. So when I click on radio button, and I can put in the name for the field, which is my preferred newsletter frequency, and we can also decide to add in item for each options. Okay, so now we can ask them for their preferred newsletter frequency, and I've added in all of this option in here. We have bi-weekly, we have weekly, and we have monthly, and this is going to add them as an option, and they can be able to pick any option that works for them. And we can also add in a default value. Default value, we can say that we want to add in a static value, so that even if they do not pick that value, this is what is going to show up in our in the contact details. So for instance, if we send this out as a form and we put this particular field in that form, and the user or the person filling in that form did not fill this option, we can just automatically use weekly, and we just bring in weekly and put weekly in here, and we can be able to identify that yeah, they want to use weekly. But if they pick any option, this is going to change, and it can change to whatever option that they pick. So when you are done, you click on add, and when you click on add, your custom field has been added for this. And the next one on our dummy list will be the topic of interest, And for the topic of interest, we have several topics that they can be able to pick from. We can decide I want to ask them what services they want from us. Do they want email marketing? Do they want CRM tips, or is it social media or automation or event updates? So these, since they can be able to pick multiple answers in here, we are not going to be using the radio button like we did here. We are going to be using the multi-select checkbox. So when you copy this name and you go over to Zoho Campaigns, you click on add new and you click on contacts field, and we can be able to pick the, you can pick the multi-select pick list, or we can pick the multi-select checkbox. So the pick list is going to be like a drop down where is until they click on the drop down, that is when they are going to see all of the list of the choices. Whereas if we are using the checkbox, it's going to list out all of the options and they can be able to pick the options from there. So when we pick on the multi-select checkbox and we click on the field name, which is the topic of interest, we can then go ahead into our dummy list and see all of the options that we have, and we need to bring all of these options into Zoho Campaigns. Okay, so here our topic of interest, and we can see that we have five options in here, and it has been brought in. We have the email marketing, we have the CRM tips, and we have the social media automation and event updates. We can also decide to add in a default value if we want. We have added in all of this information. We can click on add, and as you can see, that custom field has been added. And the next one on our dummy list is website, and we can decide to also ask them for their website URL, and we can go back into Zoho Campaigns and click on add new custom fields, and we are going to look for the URL field, which is the URL here. And when you click on this URL field in here, you can then put in the name of your field, which is website. Then you can decide to add in URL. So we're asking them for their website URL, and we can decide to add in a field length, and when we are done we can click on add. And when you click on add, this is going to be added. So I need a field length for my URL. So I added 50. As now that we have the URL field, the next one is going to be our customer feedback. And for customer feedback, as you can see, we can use a multi-line uh, field, since we're asking for the customer feedback and we want them to be able to write as much as they want. We cannot use the text field because they can only write short text in the text field. When you pick on the customer feedback in here and you go back to Zoho Campaigns and you click on add and you click on the contacts field, you are not going to use text because the field length for text is going to be shorter. We want something where they can be able to write in long paragraphs. So we are going to pick on the text area. We are going to use that. And we can then decide to copy this in here for customer feedback. And when we are done, we click on add and this field will be added. And that has been added. And I think that's all. Yeah, that is all for our list. And now that we have added in all of the custom fields in our list, we can then move on to import this contact. So do not forget, we have various type of custom fields which we can create, right from the text to the email to the checkbox to the anniversary, the URL, and all of this. So you just need to know the one you are creating, and you just need to add in the label, which is going to be the feed name and the feed length wherever it's required. And you can also add in the default value, and you can also encrypt the field. And when you are done, you click on add. So now that we are done with a custom field, let's go into importing contacts into Zoho Campaigns.